Saturday's win over Northwestern was full of highlights on both sides of the ball. We've been through the Gopher offense, but the defense played a great game and forced the Wildcats into 3 turnovers. And who better to talk Gopher D than defensive coordinator Tracy Claeys? He joins Mike Max in the Hall of Fame room.
Thanks, Janelle. We talked a lot about the offense earlier in the game. In the film room, we broke down some defense, but let's talk a little bit about Rashid Agyeman, someone we didn't get to. Had an interception. Seemed like, as you're watching it, 99, you saw him a lot, knocking down a pass, doing something. Tell me about the game that Rashid played.
You know, overall, it was his best game that he'd played overall, and he made plays against the run. You watch the video after the game, and there's a couple tackles he's making on the sidelines where he's running 15 yards and running it down. And like I say, he's a great athlete. He played with a great amount of energy. And, you know, we dropped the defensive tackles out a little bit because of some of their quick passing game when we blitzed. And just so happens we did one of those and they threw it right to him. And so it was good to see him get that interception. I was joking with him yesterday that if the stickum stuff was still legal to put on your hands, he might have had 3 or 4 interceptions with how many balls that he batted down.
He been close, yeah.
You know, and but it all came out. You know, those guys were aggressive. TC had a good game also, coming off the edge, and but they were aggressive and got a good push and got their hands up, and so a lot of the getting off the field on 3rd downs and getting the ball back from the offense had a lot to do with the D-line and Rashid with the penetration that they got.
Yeah, we saw Manuel's touchdown a little bit earlier in the film room. You had some big plays like that to go with it. You're the defensive coordinator too. How did you adjust to that, both sides of the ball and decision making, and having to click that headset and listen in on the offensive side?
It was pretty good. I didn't mess with them much on offense. I stood next to Coach Reeves down the sidelines in case something needed to be done. But you know, those guys work hard and they had a game plan. The only time I did, you know, at the halftime, I felt like we got the ball back there with a couple minutes left, and defensively we hadn't finished games very well on the last drives for the game, and I just clicked over to the offense, hey, be careful with it here. I'd like to get to halftime. There's nothing wrong with it being 7-7, and I said, let's run the ball a few times. If we pop one, then we'll go. But I wanted to go. I thought we were starting to get momentum, and I didn't want to lose that or give that back to them. And so we ended up getting a chance at a field goal, and Chris missed it. But at the same time, I said, hey, you're going to get a chance.
Way, Chris, you mentioned he played well.
Yeah, he did. Well. And I told you, you're going to get a chance later in the game to win it. So just forget that one. Let's move on. And he kicked 2 of them later that was very important. So. It really wasn't that difficult overall. I did try to stay away from where most of the players were when we were on defense, so I could think one play ahead and not get caught up in the game. And I messed up once. We had to take the timeout in the I don't know, it was the 3rd or 4th quarter because I got involved at the end of one play. I was talking to one of the players. I looked up and they're ready to snap the ball already, so we had to take
Not a good feeling.
No, so we had to take a timeout.
Well, this week you're going to be seeing red, of course. Here comes Nebraska. We talked about him in the film room. Let's just assume Taylor Martinez plays coming off the bye week. What does he do? This is a dual threat. This is a guy whose name we've heard for a long time in Big Ten.
You know, and our staff is one who we don't think he gets the credit he deserves, just because he does have a funny throwing motion and that, but he's gotten better, getting more accurate, and he can make a lot of plays with his legs. So there's no question there's much more danger with him. The other thing that they have is they have the most speed at the skill positions. They have 3 wideouts who can run. And
pretty good hands, by the way. They're the rangy, tall, kind of long arms, and you know.
Yes, they are, and it fits in well with their play-action passes. And he's gotten to where he can put the ball close enough to where they come down with it. And so a year ago, we did a great job against the running game. We didn't cover him very well. So we're going to have to cover him better at the same time, being able to control that running game. But that's the challenge that he presents when he's in the game. You try to keep one more guy closer to the box because he can run it, but their receivers are too good to be one-on-one with all the time.
Okay, so everybody watches everything when you're coaches because you're paid to be paranoid, I always say. But they're talking about low 40s, some rain. I mean, doesn't that play to your favor a little bit?
You know, it probably does. You know, I think that the one thing is them being from up north, I'm sure they've had a few days to practice where they have to deal with the same type of weather in Lincoln, you know, but on the home field, and, you know, if you can make it a one-dimensional game, I think that that obviously the home team has the advantage.
Yeah, and their defense has not had a great year so
Right.
far by their standards, and
Right.
so if you can eat some clock up and move the chains a little bit, maybe you can get time of possession kind of going, right?
That's exactly right. And if you can get ahead of them, then I do think that is to your advantage a lot. It'll get them out of what they really want to do. So, you know, whatever the weather is, we'll play in it, and we'll have a chance to prepare during the week for
Yeah.
whatever we're going to see too, it sounds like. And so, but the big thing is, you know, we've won a Big Ten game on the road. I told the kids now we got to protect our home turf, and it's important. And so we've lost one already at home, Big Ten game, and so it'll be important that we protect home this week.
Yeah, and you win it, and you're bowl eligible already, and that wouldn't be a bad place to be. Coach, thank you so much, and continued success.
Well, thank you for having me.
Tracy Claeys, acting head coach, Golden Gophers and Nebraska. Janelle, 11 a.m. kickoff. Remember to wear your warm clothes.
That will do it for this week's edition of Gopher Football with Jerry Kill. Be sure to check out gophersports.com for updates all week long on the Golden Gophers. For Mike Max and Coach Claeys, I'm Janelle Klein. Thanks for joining us right here on Gopher Football with Jerry Kill.